Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to play Defying Gravity from Wicked, the musical. Now I am going to put the music on screen as we go through it so that you can see how the notes relate to what I'm playing. And I'm also going to talk about various aspects in the music that you might be able to carry on and relate to other pieces of music. However, if you don't read music or haven't read music, then don't worry, because I will explain and show you how to play it as well as talk you through the sheet music. Okay, so firstly I'm going to break down the song into three parts. So we have the introduction, we have the verse, and we have the chorus, and these are the three main parts of this song. So the introduction goes something like this. And that's what we're going to start with. So when we're looking at this piece of music, we can see at the beginning that it has 5 flats. And all this means is that we are going to use all of the black keys on the piano. And in fact, the only black keys that we're not going to be using is F and C. These are the only 2 white notes that happen in this song. And if you don't know what a flat is, don't worry about it. All flat means is 1 down. So for example, if we have a D on the piano, a D flat would be 1 key lower than D. And if we have a G on the piano, a G flat would be 1 lower than G. So the only notes we're actually going to use in this song are the notes D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C, and then we're back to another D flat. And you can go up and down the piano using these notes. And these notes actually form a scale called D flat major. So D flat major has 5 flats in it, and those flats are B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat. And then F and C are also in that scale. So when we look at the music, the first thing we can see is that everything is written in the left hand. It isn't actually written in the left hand, but it looks like that. So when this happens, the ones with the sticks facing downwards are usually the left hand, and the one with the sticks facing upwards are usually the right hand. So you can see that there's these 2 really low notes that form the left hand, and those notes are a D flat and another D flat. Now that is really low down on the piano, but that's exactly where it should be. In the right hand, we have D flat, we have A flat, and we have D flat. So if we play those together, you should get... Then straight after that, we have exactly the same chord again. We have D flat, A flat, D flat, with a D flat and a D flat in the left hand. So we go... Now the first one of these D flats is a beat and a half, and we know this because it's just got a normal stick and it's got dots next to it. The next one is half a beat, which is a lot shorter. So we know this because it has a tail on the stick. So what you should be playing is 1, 2, because the first one lasts a beat and a half and the second one lasts half a beat. The next note is another half beat, and this is 2 E flats in the left hand and an A flat and a C in the right hand. And that's another half beat. So if we add that onto the end, something like that. I'll play it again. Okay, then the next chord, the right hand goes back to exactly what it was playing before, which is a D flat, an A flat, and a D flat. However, the right hand goes up 1 more note in the scale to an F. So we've got, in the left hand, D flat, E flat, F. And that's D flat, E flat, F. And we're playing this in something called octaves, which is where you play 2 of the same letter on the piano. Okay, so together that will be... And that's what we have so far. So the final chord of this first bar is a G flat in the left hand and another G flat. And in the right hand, we have a G flat, an A flat, and a D flat. Now in the music, the G flat and the A flat are next to each other, and sometimes some people get confused with this. And this is just because they can't fit them on top of each other. So it is still part of the same chord. So you should get something like this for the first bar. Now these lines that go from this particular chord to the next one are called ties, and what this does is it extends the note so that you've got to hold it for the duration of both of those together. So this first chord is a half beat, however that is tied to a chord that lasts for 4 beats, so it's actually going to last 4.5 beats. So you'll get something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have the exact same thing again. If you see in bar 3, these are the exact same notes, and it's tied across to bar 4 in exactly the same way. So it goes something like this. Now you'll see that this chord is tied again to the next bar, and that is just so you hold it underneath. And because you've got some more right hand to play in this 5th bar, it's not technically possible to hold that left hand and play those high notes. So what you have to do is put on the sustain pedal. And this is the far right pedal on the piano, and that will hold the notes lower down for you while you play those high notes. So the high notes that are in bar 5, that is a D flat, followed by an A flat, followed by a D flat. Then a C, then an A flat, then a D flat. I'll play that again. So D flat, A flat, D flat, C, A flat, D flat. And they are all half beats, so they're all going to be the same length. And there is a half beat rest at the beginning of this bar, so you're going to get a little bit of silence before you play it, something like... I'll do that again. And if you wanted to count it, you get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So if I add that onto the end, that makes the entire introduction. And obviously you can add a little bit of musicality to that and make it sound exactly how you want it to sound, but that is the basics of the introduction. So the next thing that we are going to play in this song is the verse. Now I've chosen not to put the melody into the piano part because I realise that a lot of people who want to play Defying Gravity on the piano will probably want to sing with it as well. However, if you do want the melody, then there are lots of versions of this in sheet music that has the melody in the piano part as well. And I'm also happy to do a piano tutorial of Defying Gravity with the melody in the verse, if that's what you want. Okay, so let's take a look at the music. Now, this time we have both the hands back separated in their different staves. And in the left hand, we have that D flat and D flat again. And we can see that that is exactly the same as the first note in the introduction that we did. And you'll find that if you don't read music that often, or you don't read music at all, then you'll find that you'll start recognising these notes when you look at them in different pieces. And that's kind of the key to learning how to read music, is just seeing them, trying to recognise what it is and remembering it, so that when you see it again, you know what it is. So we have 2 D flats in the left hand, and in the right hand, we have an A flat, and we have another D flat. So that goes something like this. Very similar to that introduction opening. However, this time we're going to hold it for 3.5 beats, something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the reason I counted to 4 before I took the note off is because we started on beat 1. So we get beat 1 to 2 is 1 beat, beat 2 to 3 is 2 beats, beat 3 to 4 is 3 beats, and then halfway between beat 4 and then 1 again is another half beat. Okay, now the chord that we play after that is a little bit higher up in the left hand, and this is a G flat, a D flat, and a G flat. And in the right hand, we have an A flat, a D flat, a G flat, and an A flat. Something like this. That one's a little bit tricky to get to, but you'll get there if you practice it. And this lasts 4.5 beats. So from the beginning of that verse, we get something like, something has changed within me. Then we get the exact same thing again. Something is not the same. However, this time we have a few notes extra in the right hand on the end, and these notes are A flat, D flat, and E flat. So that goes something like this. Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. Then we get the exact same chords again, and the good thing about this is once you've learnt them once, you've learnt them for all of these times, which is great. So we get that one more time. Then the chords start to change. So now we have 2 2-beat chords, and in the left hand we have an F octave going to a G flat octave. And in the right hand we have D flat, A flat, and D flat, going to A flat, D flat, and A flat. I'll add that onto the end of what we've already got. So now the next chord, we have some accidentals. Now an accidental is where flats or sharps are written into the music rather than just being at the beginning of the line. And when they're at the beginning of a line, that's called a key signature. That tells you what notes you're generally going to be using within the piece of music. However, accidentals are extra notes that you can add into the piece of music. So here we have a G flat, but we also now have a C flat as well. So the C that was a normal C is now a C flat. And in the left hand, we have a C flat, a G flat, and a C flat. So that goes something like this. Now this chord lasts for 4 beats, and a lot of these chords after this now last for 4 beats, which makes counting it very easy. So you can do something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the next chord, very, very similar. You have an octave C flat that's way down at the bottom of the piano. And you have a G flat, a C flat, and a D flat. So together, that'll go. And the next chord, back to D flat, A flat, and D flat. And in the right hand, G flat, A flat, and D flat. So I'll play those 3 chords together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the left hand goes down to another C flat, and the right hand, the middle note is the only one that actually changes here, and it goes from an A flat to a C flat. So you get G flat, C flat, and D flat. Then after that, we go straight back to the chord we've just come from, which is D flat, A flat, D flat, with G flat, A flat, D flat in the right. So I'll just play up to there from the beginning of these 4-beat chords. Now the next chord, the right hand stays exactly the same, it just takes out that middle note. And in the left hand we have 2 E flats. Then straight after that we have F octaves in the left hand, so it just goes up 1 note in the scale. And in the right hand, the bottom note of the 2 goes down 1 note to the F as well. So those 2 chords will be E flat with a G flat and a D flat. And then F with an F and a D flat. And then the final one of these 4-beat chords is a G flat octave in the left with an A flat, a D flat, and a G flat. So, once again, I'll just play you all of those 4-beat chords so you have an idea of how that sounds. So the next part, the right hand is playing all half-beat notes. So this is going to be a little bit tricky to play, but once you've practiced it, you'll be okay. So the first note is A flat, and then jump down to the octave lower A flat. So you're going to go from this A flat to that A flat. Then you're going to want it to use your second and third fingers on D flat, E flat. So those 4 notes together. Then you're going to want to put your thumb underneath so you can play that A flat that you originally played, something like this. Then you're going to want to play D flat and E flat up here as well. Something like this. Then we've got 2 more notes, so you're going to put your thumb under again to play this A flat, followed by D flat. And in the left hand, that entire time, you're going to be holding 2 A flats. And that is the entirety of the verse. I know there's a lot going on there and there's a lot of chords, so you may want to watch this a few times and also sit at the piano and just practice it and you'll get there. So this is all of the verse. So hopefully now I've played that all together, you can hear how the words and melody will fit in with those. So that leaves us with the last kind of section to learn for this song, and that is the chorus. So the chorus is a little bit more of a fiddly pattern, so I'm going to break this down into two hands. So the first part that we're going to learn is the left hand. And in the left hand, you have a series of 3-note chords, and they all have octaves on the outside of those. And what I mean by that is you're going to play 2 of the same note, and then you're going to put a note in the middle of those notes. So the first one of these is B flat octave with an F in the middle, something like this. That's followed by G flat octaves with a D flat in the middle. And then that's followed by A flat octaves with an E flat in the middle. And that's it. You're going to play that twice. So these 3 chords are... Now this is where it gets slightly complicated because you've got the right hand to play it as well, and the right hand is doing a lot more than the left hand is. So in the right hand, we'll break this down bar by bar, but all of the notes essentially are half beats. So you're going to be playing constant notes. So in the right hand, we have a D flat, a C, a D flat, and an A flat. And we have that twice. That goes with the first left hand chord, which is the B flat, F, and B flat. So like this. Then in the second bar, we have D flat, A flat, C, D flat. I'll do that again. D flat, A flat, C, D flat. And then that's followed with A flat, C, D flat. So you get... And again. Now that's with the G flat chord in the left hand, the G flat, D flat, and G flat. So those 2 bars together are something like this. Then the third bar is just F, C, D, E flat. I'll do that again. And then E flat, A flat, C, E flat. So that's... And again. And that's with the A flat chord in the left hand, the A flat, E flat, and A flat. And at the end of that, we can put an E flat and an A flat on the end like this in the right hand. So you'll get... And with the left hand... So far for the chorus, we have... Now at this point, most of the hard work is done because the next 3 bars are exactly the same. The only difference is the very last part of this chorus. So we have... Now this time, instead of playing the E flat and the A flat chord on the end, we have a few more extra notes. And those notes are G flat, F, C, E flat. So that's G flat, F, C, E flat, and then C, D flat, A flat, D flat. I'll do that again. C, D flat, A flat, D flat. So that's... And that completes the chorus. So I will now play the chorus for you in its entirety. And that can lead you straight back into the introduction for the start of the second verse. So now we have the introduction, we have the verse, and we have the chorus. I'm now going to play you all 3 parts together so you can see how they sound together. And I will also put the music up on screen as I play it so you can see whereabouts we are on the music. And there we go. I hope you found that useful. If you would like me to do any more piano tutorials, then let me know in the comments. And if you got value from this video, be sure to subscribe and like the video. And I'll see you next time.